Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro every day, and today D-Brand left us a long message about sometimes the obvious choices result in a loss. If you think you can beat the Anti-6 boss, you can get the seed from the video description, and when you're ready, let's go Gold Stake Abandoned Deck. Alright, the first boss is Hearts. In the first round, 3 aces could be a full house. Okay. Alright, Wheel of Fortune could be V-Nits. 3 of a kind is easier on the abandoned deck, but not necessarily too easy. So let's open the Buffoon pack first for more information. Could be Grimbo, could be Crazy Joker as an Eternal, plus 12 mult for straights. So D-Brand did say when they did Grimbo, what seems like the obvious choice, they ended up losing. And then when they did Crazy Joker instead, they ended up winning. I think here, sort of naively with no information, I take Grimbo, of course. Grimbo usually on Gold Stake, what we're trying to do is we're trying to spam a lot of hands every round, maybe play 3 or 4 pairs per round. So maybe the bosses that we're worried about, no repeat hand types, that can be rough. Maybe play only 1 hand, that can be rough. Normally your plan is to play 3 or 4 pairs, and then here you can only play 1 hand. The Wall and the Violet Vessel can be bad. Usually if you're playing a lot of pairs, it's because you have to play a lot of pairs. You're scoring not a lot of points per hand. Maybe decreased level can be rough depending on when it happens. So decreased level in Anti 2 or 3 maybe isn't that bad because you don't have that many levels anyway. Decreased level in Anti 6 or 7 is not that bad because usually you have a lot of levels. You can afford to lose a few. Maybe in Anti 4 and 5 is when it's the worst. Anyway, let's take Grimbo and see what happens. Let's go next. Alright, so the first round when we have Grimbo, what we can do is we can discard to find a flush. And then after using the discards, now let's start growing. Alright, so I just want to keep digging for the flush. We do have the flush, which means we can't lose. Just play high card and then finish with the flush. So what would normally be like a 280 point hand, if you add 4 mult, it's twice as much. So 560, 570 maybe. And then now probably a flush would be able to one-shot the boss. Do we want to jumbo Buffoon pack? Probably. Looking for a source of chips, could be a castle. Okay, 3 rentals. I think rental halvesies, rental fist I don't need because I have Grimbo. Tribe here as a rental is also probably not very strong. So for sure we take the castle. The question is, do we keep the castle or do we just sell it for $3? So D-Brand did write about this as well. Grimbo, you want to not use any discards. Castle rewards you for discarding. Can we make it work, these two together? I think the answer is for sure, yeah, we can make it work. Let's find out. So castles on spades. I could play a flush, but the flush is too many points. The flush wins. Let's play 10 as a high card. Holding my discards for spades. Okay, maybe one more time looking for spades. Great. So here's a spade flush we can discard. So here's the idea. If I discard, I go 1 less mult, but plus 15 chips. Is that a trade I'm willing to do? 1 less mult for 15 chips? Maybe, probably that's something that I'm interested in doing. If you think about, if we go to the collection here, you could see, where is it? Like Steven is 4 mult, Todd is 30 chips about. If we go enhancements, plus 4 mult for the mult cards from Empress, and then plus 30 chips for the, what is it, the bonus cards from Hierophant. So it's like 30 to 4, or maybe it's like 15 to 2, or maybe 1 mult is worth about 7 to 8 chips or something like that. But that depends on what kind of jokers you have access to. If you have more mult, then of course you would prefer to have some additional chips. If you have mostly chips jokers, you would prefer to have some additional mult. So I think you just have to decide ahead of time what the threshold is going to be. So for the castle, am I willing to discard 3 cards and just get 9 chips? Probably not. So maybe 4 cards would be enough for the castle. I think here I'm going to play high card and then try to dig for the hearts flush. And then we do get the hearts flush, but also the high card is already 200 points because we have 15 chips. That's it. If we get some other source of mult, like a red card, I might discard more aggressively for the castle. Okay, there's an order here. So this is what D-Brand meant when they took the crazy joker the second time. They played straights, and then you get the order, and then probably you're fine. I think we can win without that. I think we don't need rental face or scary face. So just save our money and go next. I guess one consideration with Grimbo is if you're playing all of your hands every round, you're making much less money, especially in the early game when we are trying to save up money for interest. A little bit rough on the abandoned deck where you don't start with the money from the yellow deck or the extra hands from the blue deck. And so if I'm spending a lot of money, if I'm spending a lot of hands on green joker, then I'm not seeing as many shops. I'm not seeing as many alternate jokers to build out my lineup. But the idea is if I go all in on green joker, then I don't need that much more. I don't need to see that many other jokers. That's the idea anyway. Alright, castles on hearts. So instead of playing the flush, let's play high card 10. Looking for hearts. Okay, I got 2 hearts in hand. We can play another high card 10. 270 points, 300 points on the next one. We said the threshold is going to be about 4 for the castle. So discard the hearts. I do get 4 more hearts. Let's discard. And then that's it. Play high card. And then that's 500 points. So in the next round, we get to play high card probably 3 times. Castle's still on hearts. Okay, I don't have money for the booster packs. I don't need a rental droll joker. Castle on hearts. So to the best of my ability, I want to play high card so that I can score fewer points when possible. There's 4 hearts we can discard, throw away the 4 so that we can avoid the pair. I can play high card again. And 3 hearts we said was not good enough, so let's not do that. Let's just go high card 8. Actually, this wins. Great. Alright, castle on diamonds now. Do we want the extra discard for the castle? Probably not. Even if we did have the extra discard, probably we shouldn't do it because we don't want to discard too many times. We want to make sure that we maintain our green joker value. Also, the extra discard just costs money right now. Already the castle is as good as the sly joker, but it's not a rental, so let's go next. Continuing to save for interest. Alright, castle on diamonds. I can play 10 high. Okay, looking for 1 more diamond. Alright, 4 diamonds. And then 2 diamonds is not enough, but if I play high card ace, it does win. Okay. Actually, we're having the problem now that we're scoring too many points. I'm not using all of my hands. Castles on spades. Okay, we got 22 bucks. Do we want to start opening Arcana packs when we have 22 bucks, or do we maybe want to wait 1 more round? Maybe. $5 Arcana pack takes me down to 18. We could try to get a Hermit. Let's try it. I get a Death card and a wheel. So I guess castle on spades. Maybe we make extra spades. Maybe I turn a 3 of hearts into a 9 of spades. Sure. Bummer. And then go next. Alright, so castle on spades. I can play High card 8 for 1,000. Okay. High card ace. Okay. The next one wins. Do we want to discard for the castle? We said maybe not. So if I just play high card ace here, it wins. Ah, bummer. Alright, castle's still on spades. I have another Arcana pack. I'll take Todd in case we get Temperance, maybe. I don't need the fist since we already have plus 15 on Grimbo. Boss has no discards. Alright, could take the World, could take Temperance. So, do I want $6 here or do I want to make more spades? I guess if the castle's on spades, I can turn 3 red cards into spades. Or I could make a gold card. I think I'm interested in extra spades. Maybe. So, generally speaking, when you're playing with the castle, what you want to do is you want to try to turn all of your cards into one suit, or at least turn all of your cards into 2 suits. That way when castle, it picks a random card in your deck, and so if it picks, or if you have mostly spades and clubs, then it'll pick spades and clubs more often, and you'll be able to get more value out of the castle. And so maybe I want to go use the World here, though making a gold card is honestly tempting. Maybe this early, round 7, I actually value the gold card quite a bit. Let's make a gold ace since we have castle on spades, and then go next. Alright, castle on spades. I can play 2 pair. That might be too much. A lot. I can discard 4 spades. Okay, and then now we're looking for maybe 2 more spades I'd be willing to discard. The next hand wins. So this wins. I don't get to do the spades, and that's okay. Castle's still on spades. Okay. Could take Zany Joker as a holographic. That's a little bit extra points if we feel that we need a little bit extra. I think we're fine here. 6,400, I think we're fine, but maybe we want to have a little bit extra for the next ante. Is going to be 9,000. Maybe I go Arcana first. Ah, beans. If we had taken Zany Joker, Temperance would have been plus $3. Or I guess we could just use the moon here and turn the diamonds into clubs. Seems like something reasonable to do. I think maybe this random holographic I don't need. I think we can get away without it. There was a consideration there going back in time. I think if you got Grimbo plus Castle, the plan is I want to just play high card. I want to play a lot of hands, and so I don't want to give up a hand to go back in time. Castle on spades. So now I just want to try to draw my... I don't really care about spades necessarily. I just want to draw my gold card. I do want to make sure that we are scoring enough points. And it looks fine. As long as we get 1,600 per hand, we're fine. I can play high card 10. And that's it. We didn't draw the gold card. That's okay. Castle on hearts. Okay. Chariot. There is seed money. So let's see here. Boss is playing only one type of hand. Let's go Buffoon Pack first. Could be Mail-in Rebate, could be 6 cents. I think I take Mail-in Rebate. So here's another, Mail-in Rebate's cool with the castle, I guess. You want to discard some stuff, but Grimbo says no. So if we didn't have the castle, I think you could still do Mail-in Rebate and Grimbo and do kind of the same thing, where use a couple hands and then use one discard to try to get money. Arcana looking for, didn't get Hermie, but we could get Temperance for $7, or we could just make more spades. Castle is currently on hearts, but maybe it makes sense to turn the hearts into spades for later. I guess the question is, do I want to turn clubs into spades or leave them as clubs? And I'm okay leaving them as clubs. So, world here, instead of taking the $7, maybe. Probably the chariot is not important to me. Let's go next. Alright, so rebate on 2s, castle on hearts. I can start with, I'm looking for 2s and hearts. Okay, so there's a 2 and there's some hearts. So I can use the discard for 3 hearts and a 2. Or I can wait until I draw more hearts. I can wait until I draw more 2s. I think 3 hearts and a 2 is good enough. Okay, there's one more 2. So let's play a few hands first. Okay. This doesn't win. And the next one does. I could do 2 hearts and some 2s. And then doesn't really matter what we play. Could be a straight. Cool. Castles on spades, rebate on 5s. Spades and 5s. Mime for my gold card. Maybe mime as a rental I'm not interested in doing. Could go standard pack, could go celestial pack. I think if I've got the castle and I've got Grimbo, I don't need a celestial pack ever. I do want seed money. And then no standard pack, we just go next. Rebate on 5s. Spades and 5s. Okay. Alright, so that was not very strong. So maybe we need to play something slightly more interesting this particular round. Let's see here. Pair of 10s is 3,000. So maybe I discard the 5s and try to get a clubs flush. Maybe. Okay. I can play the clubs flush. I could maybe play 2 pair. No, let's play the flush. Alright, I can discard spades and a 5, and this should be plenty. Alright, and then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is something I'm curious about. I want to know how much the high card does, because I know it wins. I just want to know how much. 33. So for this boss, if we want to win with just high card, we're going to need something a little bit more powerful. Can't do the photograph. We can re-roll a little bit. Could be take a free re-roll here. Jolly Joker for pairs is almost certainly enough. So now against the boss, I want to try to play pairs. So we're getting slightly punished for not taking the holographic when we had the chance, but I think it's fine. Could be Hermie here for 20 bucks. And then go one more. So now we could start taking Mercury cards and start leveling up pairs and Celestial packs and stuff like that. I think maybe that's not necessary. I think I just go one more. I don't need a hack. Let's go next. So castle on clubs, rebate on 2s. Let's play a pair of 8s. Castle on clubs, rebate on 2s. Alright, so I can discard clubs and a 2. We get punished if we fail to draw a pair. So let's keep the 10s. Clubs and a 2. Alright, I potentially want to discard 4 clubs. I could play the pair first. And maybe we draw 2. Okay. I can play a pair of 6s without winning. I can discard a bunch of clubs and then play a pair of 9s, I guess. Pair of the 9s, and that's it. Alright, so that's like 6,000. Castles on clubs again. Rebate on 5s. Okay. Extra hand is great. So now 25,000, we can just play 5 hands. This boss is extra large. That's not good. Okay. Spaceman, probably we don't need because we already have the castle. I could use a death card, could be an emperor. So castle on clubs, I could use death if I want to get rid of some red cards here. I think I just take the emperor. Gives me a fool. Okay. And now we do have Hermie. So I can use the devil to make a gold card, and then I can use the fool to copy Hermie. What I need to do is I need to find an answer to the boss, and I think the way that we find an answer is by re-rolling. So I want the money for re-rolling. So how about a gold 10? And then take the money. Alright, Judgment I guess we can hold on to. Hiker, Plutonium, probably too late for Plutonium. Maybe a Burnt Joker, I think Burnt Joker also a little bit too late. Maybe go one more. Northern Lion instead of the free reroll. I think I'm okay with the value generators that I have. I go one more. Temperance is 10 bucks. So, alright. More rounds rebate. Let's go next. I don't want to spend $10 on a reroll, is my consideration there. Alright, so castle on clubs, rebate on 5s. Let's play a pair. Okay, so I could do clubs with 1-5. I could wait for more clubs. I think I do want to wait. So without Jolly Joker, we get a little bit less than 5,000. Okay, I can discard clubs and a 5. Okay, I can play 2 pair. Looking for more clubs. Okay. I can discard clubs and 2 5s. Is probably worth it. And then we can play whatever. I guess I want to play high card. I want to be able to play. I guess it doesn't matter what's in my deck. We just play the 5 here. And then high card 2 doesn't matter. Maybe I should, yeah, focus on high card in case we get a supernova. Anyway, yeah, I'm okay using Temperance here. Blue Joker, probably we don't want since we're playing on the abandoned deck. Blue Joker ends up being like 50, maybe 40 chips. I need more Molt. I can reroll. Could be a red card instead of Jolly Joker. That's a little bit of Molt, but it's not a lot. Rebate is gonna be gone soon. Let's go standard pack. I could take a purple 6. Is something that I might be interested in. Castles on spades. So before we go Arcana, we can keep re-rolling. I think it's too late for the red card, but maybe Habsies makes a lot of sense. Could be Habsies instead of Jolly Joker. In which case we go Judgment first. I don't need Lustful Joker. Let's go Could be abstract instead of halvesies is probably better because we want to be able to play more cards at one time. The problem is it's a rental. I think is fine, probably. I think that's probably fine. Alright, could be popcorn, actually. And then that helps us beat the boss instead of abstract joker. I don't have to pay the rental fee, but I do have to pay for the popcorn. Sure. Go one more. Alright, there's the mime again. I do have a couple gold cards on deck. Maybe it makes sense to get rid of the reroll, take the mime, but the mime is a rental. So I'm just gonna open the Arcana pack. And Emperor gives me a death card. Castles on spades. Okay. Rebate on 2s. So some thoughts, I guess. Hearts into purple, right? I can discard 2 purple and 2 spades, or I can play a hand first. Maybe I'm supposed to play a hand first. Okay, so 2 purple, 3 spades. Rebate on 2s. We get another death card. So if we want, we could make some molt cards, maybe. I don't think that's going to be super relevant against this boss, but we can still do it. We could do maybe 6 and 3 into, maybe turn my clubs into molt cards. All right, I want to do spades and 2s. So why don't we play the 4s as a pair? Okay, that's about 10,000. So I have spades and I have purple here. I get slightly punished for not using the death card, but maybe that's fine. I could use it here on spades. Maybe that's slightly disappointing. Maybe, okay, this is what I'm gonna discard. Maybe I play high card first. And then we do get a 2. So I guess I can still save the death card. Discard 3 spades and a 2 for the money instead of the chips. We get a chariot. So I miss out on the opportunity to make more purple. I think that's fine. I think I go make another gold card. That's fine. So how about steal here? Doesn't matter. Play the death card and then play high card. Maybe. Alright, rebate's done. We have a lot of money here, so probably what we're going to do is we're going to spend it all. All I got to do is find a ×2 and then we're good. I think the Chad here we can't do. We can open the buffoon pack. The swashbuckler, there's halvesies again. I think none of this stuff works for me. Okay. Fool for another death card. Misprint is not strong enough. Alright, blackboard. Sure. If we take blackboard, we can keep re-rolling if we want. We got a nice amount of money left. Could be one more. I think that's it. Let's just go next. Castles on spades. Alright, so I could use death now. I could wait on the death card. I want to get rid of either diamonds or hearts. It doesn't super matter to me. I can play something like this. Play the pair with blackboard is 30,000. Okay. So now I've got, it's going to be death here. I can discard these spades. We get a star I don't care about. Even Hierophant I don't care about. Alright. I can play these holding the spades. Okay. I can play this for presumably less points. That's 10,000. Okay, so we could do purple with 4 spades. Technically, I have more purple in the deck, but this should be fine. And we get a hung man. So I guess just play whatever. And then diamonds I want to remove, hearts I want to remove. We can hang them. I could make a bonus card, or maybe I don't care about that. Let's just hang them. And then this should be 10k. Alright, popcorn goes down, that's okay. Castle on hearts, you son of a biscuit. Alright, extra hand size is worse for the blackboard, but better for the castle. We can hold on to 5 cards at a time, maybe. This boss, play only 1 hand. Okay. So I guess check a buffoon pack. Could take Michelle instead of this popcorn, maybe. And then do a little re-rolling. I don't need a Jupiter card. There's a Luchador if you want to take a Luchador for the boss, if that's something that you're concerned about. Luchador gives us extra hands, right? I guess we would have to get rid of the free re-roll. I guess. I could take a rebate. Tempting. And we beat this boss. Thinking about it. I am thinking about it. So let's see. Not quite yet. We're close. We're not quite there, but we are close. I think maybe then we don't take the rebate. I guess you could get rid of Michelle here. Maybe. Take the rebate. Rebate on 4s. Let's go next. Alright. Castle on hearts. That sucks. I have rebate on 4s. So it's hearts and 4s. Let's, I don't know, play 2 pair or something like that. Okay. I have 2 hearts and 2 purples. So I am going to sell the Hierophant. Rebate on 4s. Okay. Looking for suit changers. Alright, we could discard 2 purple. And then the hearts. I have a tower. So I want to discard the 4s. Okay. I can use the tower to turn something into a rock. I can play this pair. We won't get the blackboard, and that's okay. Okay. I can play this high card. Sure. Alright, and then we got a bunch of 4s. So I think that means I sell the tower. I could use it on an ace of spades. I think I just sell it here. Alright. So ace of spades we can turn into gold. 7 I can turn into steel. And then play high card this way. Yes. Alright. Rebate on aces. I really need Supernova. Alright, standard pack. I have castle on clubs. I could take the holographic glass card. Maybe green joker is small enough that the holographic glass card actually matters. I could play a clubs flush. Maybe. Yeah, let's take it. Alright. Could be lovers for... If we got castle on clubs, I could use lovers on spades. Could be a trading card instead of a rebate. Maybe. Rebate on aces? Trading card is especially bad with Grimbo. So I guess I won't do that. I guess I will just go next. Rebate on aces. Castle on clubs. So 2 clubs and an ace. I could use the lovers on could use it on the purple seals. Okay, so well, I guess hearts, you also want to discard them. About hearts and spades, we play them. And I think I have enough clubs. I can actually just play this 10 here is fine, should be fine. Rebate on aces. So now maybe lovers on the ace. Maybe. Discard the clubs. This is fine. We miss out on a little bit of purple seal value, and I think that's fine. Sun and star are certainly not the kind of things that I'm interested in. Alright, so rebate on aces. Aces and clubs. Okay, so I've got clubs and I've got an ace. Maybe I discard 2 aces. Great. And then all we gotta do is make sure that we play the red cards for the blackboard. Alright. I can play the pair of 8s first. This won't win. And then I can play whatever. Maybe 3 7s. Maybe if I was slightly more careful, I would play a high card there. Alright. So, could be a moon. Castles on clubs, you should definitely consider taking the moon. Buffoon pack, I don't need an 8 ball. So, go one more. Could be a Weasable Joker here. Copying the blackboard would be good. Copying Grimbo would be good. Copying Castle would be good, I guess. So I just get rid of the rebate here for Inweasable. I think that's perfectly reasonable to do. Alright. And then what? So hearts and diamonds we can make into clubs. And then Emperor. Maybe spin the wheel after selling the Luchador. Go next. So Luchador gives me my hands back. Castles on clubs. So let's start with spades. Okay. And then I could discard a bunch of clubs. I said I could spin the wheel first. Discard all of these clubs. Moon. So what do I have left? I have these 2, and then I guess there's a couple still left in the deck. So I could play the 4 here. Seems fine. I could use the moon on just 2 cards. Maybe is fine to do. And then discard all of these. There we go. We should be fine from now. So I can play ace high. And I'm just digging for gold cards, I guess. Could be pair of 8s. Could be gold 9. Pair the 6s. That's it? Alright. Inweezable, I guess we just wait. Could be seeing double. That's a ×2. What I would need to do is I would need to play pairs, which seems like a thing that we could do. This boss says decrease level of hand. Bummer. Alright, I probably take the clearance sale here. I probably take seeing double also. Probably that means we end up skipping, but maybe we don't have to skip yet. Go one more. Could take a moon here. I got castle on clubs. So 1 diamond, 1 heart, maybe 2 hearts. Go next. Alright. Castle on clubs. Here's a bunch of clubs we could discard. Okay. Temperance is $9. I guess we just accept that. Here I could play these clubs. I could wait for more purple seals, I guess, is the responsible thing to do. So, play this pair of 3s. Okay. Well, there's the purples, but I am still holding on to this moon. So, probably I just discard the purples here. The moon is really important, seems like. Alright. I just want to draw my red cards. So that's 17. Okay. And then one more. Alright. I guess I could turn one of the spades into clubs. And then play something like that. Maybe I'm not supposed to do that because then it makes it difficult for me to get the pairs for the seeing double. Actually. Alright, so we got Inweezable here. I guess we could use it right now. We could wait. I guess there's no point in using it right now unless we want to do the acrobat. So seeing double is probably the worst hit. Seeing double is probably better than the acrobat. Probably. Oh well. Alright, so boss has decreased level. We could go devil here for some more gold cards. Mystic Summit's cool, I guess. That's another plus 25% maybe. And I could use the world on the last ace. Could be ectoplasm. I should have looked inside the spectral pack. We could have taken ectoplasm plus acrobat. Oh well. I guess here clubs, maybe lucky, spades, maybe gold. I'm still gonna do ectoplasm here. We did get the extra hand size. And then go next. Alright. 4 more rounds seeing double. I have the world, I have castle on clubs. So what happens if we do this? Okay. Discard the clubs. And then I have more clubs. So do I want to hold on to all of these gold cards the whole time? Maybe. And we don't care that much about the world. Could use the Fool for a Devil. Could use the Hung Man on the Ace. I could use the Hung Man on some clubs, maybe. So no matter what we do, this wins. Bummer. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to hang the spades. All right. Castles on clubs again. No surprises there. I have... Could be a swashbuckler. I need more molt. Maybe. Extra hand size. Actually, I prefer that. Okay. And then looks inside the Arcana pack. Could be the soul. I guess... Ace and 2. Let's hang them. Do you want to use the Fool for a devil first? Or... Maybe I use the Fool and hang him? So I want to keep 110, 19, 18, 17 so that I can have pairs maybe. Or maybe... Because I want to be able to do seeing double. So probably with the 5s I should keep. 6s I should keep. Maybe the 3s not super important for me to keep. I'm thinking about this hungman. Anyway, so... Take the soul. Bummer. Thing about chiclets is makes all the bosses boring, I guess. So castle on clubs. I said I want to keep the 5. I probably keep the 8 also, or keep the 2 9s. Drop the 8. Yeah, maybe 3 and 8 here. We can hang them. Okay, and then maybe play a 9. Alright, here's a bunch of clubs. Justice, I should use it on a 5 of spades if we can, but we can't, so we won't. I could use it. Let's discard more clubs. And then maybe the 9 and the 6 I could make luckies. Play the 8s. Maybe it doesn't really matter. Could play the 6s here. That's it, I guess. Bummer. Alright, yeah, not knowing what the boss is, let's get rid of chiclets here so we can take a standard pack. How about Red Seal Ace? Cool. Seeing double we have to skip at least one, so I guess we could take a negative tag. Plutonium, Wrathful Joker. I guess Wrathful Joker is kind of interesting. Go next. So now castle on clubs again. I said I want to save justice for my... Oh, I guess I could use it on the ace. And maybe on one of these purples. Oh, I should use it on another ace if I'm going to. Maybe discard this ace. So maybe we go ace here. I guess because we have the holographic 5, the holographic is going to be better than the aces, but I can use justice here. And then play 9 as a high card. That's it. Alright. Bunch of 6s. I don't want seeing double to activate. So, singleton 6, I guess. And then I can play these 6s. Maybe a flush. Okay. Could be 7 as a high card. Could be, I'm trying to draw my gold cards. Maybe I just play all this. Right. And then maybe I gold 5, play the aces, or I guess play the 7s. That should be enough. Cool. And then now I guess we gotta skip. Okay, 2 Arcana packs. There's a Fist. Technically, that's more points. We get a Death card. We could copy the Aces. Maybe there's a Chad instead of the Fist. I guess. Could be. Okay, so probably I know what I want to do with this Death card. Castles on clubs, of course, we know that. I could remove some of these 6s. I could remove a 6 and a 2 here, since I'm not going to be able to pair the 2s. There we go. All right, shuffle me Jimbos. So how about I can play pair of 4s this way. So I have 9s, 7s, 6. What I need to do is I need to draw my spades, and so maybe the opening move is we discard and then we try to draw spades. Okay, so this is my castle. This reacted to me discarding, so that must be Grimbo. I can go discard these 6s now. I don't need the Hierophant, I don't think. There's a Fool. Okay, so now, how about I could play this pair. I could play, maybe if I leave a 6 behind, I could play the 5. I have 17 cards in the deck. I can play 9 as a high card. Alright. And then could be something like a straight. I think I want to keep the 5. Let me think here. Maybe I don't need the 5. So maybe I play this. Throwing away an ace. There we go. Could be 7. And then pair the 6s. 5 cards left in the deck. Alright, this 8 would like to become an ace. How about this ace? Play a couple of these. Probably put the foil in the front and do something like that. Okay, I guess some things to keep in mind here. So we did say at the beginning that, you know, Green Joker plus Castle, this is obviously Green Joker is less good if you have the Castle, or Castle is less good if you're trying to do Green Joker, but we can still make it work. Actually, this ended up being pretty good for the Castle. Castle, 400 chips. Usually if you're on a Square Joker is like 200, 250 chips, so definitely worth it here on the Castle. Of course, we got an anti-1. Some considerations, when is the Castle better? The Castle is better when you're playing on the checker deck when you only have 2 suits. And so it just kind of alternates between the 2. And then if it picks hearts, you have a lot of hearts that you can discard. If it picks spades, you have a lot of spades that you can discard. On the Abandoned deck, I think also the Castle is better because, again, if you only have the 40 cards in the deck, whatever suit that it picks, it's easier for you to hunt down whatever the suit that you want. Also, if you change 3 cards out of a 52 card deck, like you get a suit changer, you make 3 spades. Adding 3 spades to a 50 card deck is not as strong as adding 3 spades to, let's say, a 35 card deck or a 40 card deck or something like that. So with the Abandoned deck, because we start with fewer cards, we are able to warp the deck faster. We're able to change the deck faster. And then you're able to get the Castle online more. So the first lesson is, okay, green joker plus castle. Not only is it possible, it's actually a good combination. It's actually, I have plenty of plus mult here, I have scaling chips here, and then I could play whatever hand. Whatever garbage we want. We don't need blue seals, we don't need to level anything up. If you have the castle, you don't need blue seals. Blue seals, of course, overpowered. Here's an alternative that you can do. And then the second lesson, okay, playing on the abandoned deck, then the castle, we were able to do it much more easily. Definitely in this particular run, there were some hard bosses, right? We had, okay, decreased level of poker hand. That didn't really matter to us because we didn't have blue seals, we didn't have leveled up hands anyway. So because we had the castle, we didn't care about this boss. If we had the boss that said no repeat hand types, that's another boss that we don't care about because we have the castle. And that's true about Square Joker as well. Let's see here. Play only one hand. That's going to be rough. If your plan is to play pairs or high card several times, that's going to be rough. If you have extra large boss, that's going to be rough. No discards is annoying for one round, but then it's fine after that. Sometimes the suit bosses, they'll debuff the cards, and then you can't grow the castle, but it's annoying for one round and then you're fine. If you have the castle, you're able to beat base chips and mult halved. You're able to beat the flint with the castle. That's pretty easy. So like these two bosses, could have been the Violet Vessel also, the final boss would have been annoying. How were we able to beat these? We got somewhat lucky with the Luchador showing up when it did. We got somewhat lucky with X-Molt Jokers showing up when it did. So what did we do to help make those things happen? Obviously, if you get the tough boss at the time where you don't have the resources, you don't have the X-Molt, then you just lose on the spot. And that's going to happen. That's not going to happen a lot of the time, but that's going to happen some of the time. Maybe 1% of the time. And you just got to accept that that's going to happen. But what we were able to do this time, because we had seed money, because we had a few gold cards in the deck, because the abandoned deck starts with fewer cards, you're able to draw your gold cards more consistently. So every gold card that you make is going to pay out more than it normally would compared to another deck. So with all of this extra money, of course, yeah, it's lucky we rolled into the blackboard, but you could also say that because we had so much money, we were able to find the blackboard. It's unlucky that we didn't find the blackboard even sooner than we did. Maybe. And then maybe if we had not just the blackboard, but some other X-Molt, like Card Shark or Ramen or something like that, then we would have been able to beat the Needle even without what was it? Even without the Luchador, right? We could have, with all the money that we were making, we could have found some more X-Molt, but we didn't. Got a little bit unlucky with that way, but survived anyway. 56 on Green Joker is not great, I'll admit it. 65 is a good enough Green Joker. 70 is a great Green Joker. Take care, everyone.